Good afternoon, Uganda. Good afternoon, our viewer. Thank you so much for making time to choose us and watch this newscast coming your way at the hour of 1 p.m. My name is Sandra Kahunde. It is our lunchtime news, and of course, we're coming to you live both online and on air right here, the heart of Kampala City, Nile Avenue, where our broadcast house is found. It is the 23rd of September 2022. Now, starting off with activities that are topping up on the agenda as far as today, Friday, is concerned. We are starting off with the head of state activities. President Yoweri Museveni has reiterated his call to leaders in Teso sub-region to carry out a massive mobilization of the population on programs designed by the central government and monitor their implementation for the eradication of poverty. The president made the remarks while meeting a delegation of leaders from Teso sub-region led by the Minister of Teso Affairs, Honorable Dr. Ongalo Obote, at State House Entebbe. The president urged leaders to act as mobilizers in the region in implementation of government's programs like the parish development model that are aimed at getting people out of poverty. Commenting on some of the concerns raised by members of the delegation, President Museveni assured them of government's commitment to construct more cassava processing plants in the country. On universal primary education, the president urged political leaders to support government in enforcing the program that was started in 1996, targeting the children of the poor.
Programs already designed for the area by the center, by the minister, the prime minister, or agriculture, whatever. So you mobilize them. You are near. You become like a super mobilizer for the zone. The RDCs there, they are the what, but the Minister of State is the super mobilizer for the area, people to occupy in all those the programs that are coming to that area, because they can come and pass, because nobody is focusing on them. Then the second one would be to monitor that actually things are happening. And then the third one is what I wrote here as your number 7, where you had talked of developing an economic development plan to think for the area. You have mobilized for what is already being deployed. You have mobilized so that people, so it doesn't pass by them. A program that does not come and the people don't benefit from it. You mobilize to capture, to make sure that they maximally use what is available. Like this PDM, like all these. Say, when PDM came, so many families benefited. And identify some of those things that, okay, the 1 million may buy seedlings, but it may not buy the sprayers. So therefore here, for me, what I don't think it's a good idea to have parallel programs separate, no, but to have the budget you are talking about should be enough money for you to do that, to mobilize, to monitor, and to plan in a micro way for the area.
More from state, Vice President Jessica Alupo has called for environmentally friendly and inclusive solutions for all in the fight against climate change. This was during her address to the general debate of the 77th session of the General Assembly of the UN. Alupo told leaders that despite contributing an insignificant amount of global greenhouse gas emissions, the African continent, like many developing regions of the world, suffer the effects of climate change to a disproportionate degree. On terrorism, Vice President Alupo called on nations to be unwavering in preventing and combating terrorism in all its forms and manifestations.
We are thankful to our bilateral and multilateral partners that supported our response to the COVID-19 challenge. Mr. President, the government of Uganda attaches importance to the 2019 Agenda for Sustainable Development and continues to register progress in its implementation. It has continued to strengthen institutional coordination to achieve the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, and the National SDG Secretariat has been strengthened to support the coordination architecture to ensure that the country stays on track in implementing the SDGs. The government of Uganda has fully mainstreamed the SDGs in the National Development Plan and is working together with the UN family and other stakeholders. This will sustain and strengthen collaboration with all actors. However, effective implementation of the agenda will require support in areas such as transfer of technology, capacity building, and financing. Mr. President, climate change remains one of the greatest challenges of our time. Our collective effort to fight climate change is an irreversible process that must continue. However, we must note that despite contributing an insignificant amount of global greenhouse gas emissions, the African continent, like many developing regions of the world, suffer the effects of climate change to a disproportionate degree. Uganda, for instance, continues to experience prolonged droughts, melting of ice caps at its highest mountain, Mount Rwenzori, floods, erratic rainfall patterns, and landslides. But like His Excellency, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has said before, the climate change problem is almost a result of irresponsible and sometimes greedy human actions. Likewise, if underdevelopment persists, we should forget about conserving the environment. It is regrettable and hypocritical that some of the regions and nations that mismanage the environment and are disproportionately responsible for global warming have embarked on a rigorous campaign to thwart efforts of other countries to responsibly and sustainably develop the oil and gas sectors. Our view is that development should be environmentally friendly, inclusive, and provide benefits for all. It should leave no one behind. Uganda has continued to scale up investments in climate adaptation and mitigation measures. In particular, increasing access to clean lands production and increasing forest and wetland cover, among other interventions. Climate change actions must uphold the principle of equity and common but differentiated responsibilities consistent with national context. We therefore urge the developed countries, in line with the Paris Agreement, to fully deliver on the US $100 billion goal commitments per year to assist developing countries in their climate change actions to mitigate the adverse effects.
En nombre de la Asamblea, agradezco a la Vicepresidenta de la República de Uganda la declaración que acaba de formular.
Great submission from the Vice President of Uganda. Now, in other news, DRC and Uganda have extended joint operations in East DRC. This followed a joint ministerial review meeting of Ministers of Defense of Uganda and the DRC in Kinshasa. The ministers also approved standard operating procedures for handling ADF combatants who defect or surrender. The ministers also used the opportunity to review the situation in Eastern DRC and the ongoing joint UPDF FARDC operations.
élu à Kinshasa au CHESD. C'est le ministre de la Défense nationale et ancien combattant, Gilbert Kabanda Kourenga, qui a présidé cette réunion en présence du ministre de la Défense et des Affaires des vétérans de la République d'Uganda et du chef d'état-major général des FARDC, le général Célestin, d'appartenir sous la facilitation de la fondation américaine Bridgeway avant la lecture du communiqué final.
In more activities of the day, experts continue to call for the need to address the effects of climate change. During the 16th Environment for Development annual meeting, stakeholders stressed the need for policymakers to implement existing research findings in the fight against climate change. Details follow.
Your support throughout this process, and we're so happy that we can also be at this occasion.
The environmental change and environmental degradation very seriously and invest properly in managing these issues, because with our very fast growing population, we are heading for a disaster if we do not address these issues. Some of the very important issues that we must address are the issues of deforestation. Why are 90% of our people still cooking using firewood and charcoal? And the population is increasing. So the more the population increases, the more trees we are cutting, and the faster we are cutting them. We must protect our water bodies, because all life it depends on water. If there is no water source, there is no life. So we must protect Lake Victoria, we must protect Lake Kyoga, Albert, and all these water bodies, including our rivers, because the majority of the population, I believe, depends on the rivers, these rivers which are connecting the lakes. So that is another issue we must deal with. We are polluting these lakes and rivers with a lot of things, cavera, sewage, and so on. And if their use becomes impossible, we must look for alternative solutions. And for us, there are no alternative solutions. We have no capacity to begin digging very deep in the ground in order to pump out water to sustain this population.
There is a lot of knowledge already there that has to be used for policy making, but we also think that there's a lot of things to be learned between different countries, and not least in the south with south-south collaboration. And if we can facilitate and support that, I think that's a lot. But then, of course, Sweden, climate and environment is one focal area in our development cooperation at large. And we realize its impact and the linkages to poverty reduction and everyday life of people here.
Thank you. We still have some gaps in trying to coming up with the variables that capture climate risk that we can be able to include in our models, and then be able to, with confidence, talk about the loss to the economy as a result of all this. And
Now, a particular conversation to do with climate change is still ongoing, and we'll bring you more details in a subsequent news bulletins. Now, moving on, in our Uganda at 60 series, today we bring to the profiles of the Inspector General of Police who have headed and transformed the police force since independence. Here's UBC TV's Ivan Kawa with more on this.
Ever since Uganda attained independence, a number of people have served as Inspector Generals of Police, some of whom are still living, while others are dead. In 1964, Uganda got the first Ugandan Inspector General of Police. Wilson Oryema had joined the Uganda Police Force in 1939 and is known as one of the first Africans to rise through ranks under the colonial government. Oryema is remembered for having recruited highly educated officers into the force. He was killed by Idi Amin Dada's forces alongside Internal Affairs Minister Charles Oboth Ofumbi and Church of Uganda Archbishop Janan Luwumu in 1977. Benjamin Otieno later succeeded Oryema as Inspector General of Police in 1971 until 1973. He preserved the integrity and duty of the police. Luke Ofunji, then became Inspector General of Police, who served under the leaderships of Idi Amin, Milton Obote, Tito Okello, and Yoweri Kaguta Museveni from 1973 until 1989. This is the period where rapid reshuffles were made in police due to changes in the country's leadership. Okoth Ogola was appointed Inspector General of Police in 1981. He struggled to ensure security of the state in the face of armed rebellions, where police stations were attacked and a number of officers killed in Luwero Triangle. In 1986, Luke Ofunji was back at the helm of the Uganda police and ran affairs until 1990. This was the time many highly educated officers were recruited. Then David Sogen took the office for a while until 1990. He was succeeded by Apollo Byekwaso, who headed the force until 1992. It was during Byekwaso's term that police had to handle the first political unrest in Kampala when Democratic Party activists attempted to organize protests. This was the same period when the Internal Affairs Minister in charge of police was DP President General Paul Kawanga Semogerere. In 1992, one of the longest-serving IGPs, John Kose Odomel, took office. Odomel headed the force until 1999. In 1999, John Kisembo took office as IGP. He was in office until 2001. While Kisembo was in office, Justice Julius Sebutinde Judicial Commission of Inquiry probed the police force, identifying many challenges. It is after this inquiry that President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni appointed General Katumba Wamala to lead the reform of the police. General Katumba Wamala spearheaded the re-equipping of the police and building its combat capabilities to net criminals who were former soldiers and rebels. He set up Operation Wembule, which neutralized armed robbers in the city and along highways. In 2005, General Kale Kihura was appointed IGP, and he has served longest as police boss. He presided over the expansion of the police and quashed opposition protests throughout his tenure. Kihura arrested notorious ADF commander Jamilu Mukulu, who is still in prison. Kihura was replaced by Okoth Martins Ochola, who is the current Inspector General of Police. Under Okoth Ochola's reign, police has registered fresh assassination attempts, assassinations, bomb attacks, and unrests in Greater Masaka and Kampala, where people have lost lives. Ivan Kakwa, UBC News.
MTN Kabode Super as you pay mpola for this smartphone. Make calls, update your WhatsApp status, watch YouTube, and Google anything under the sun with 2 GB worth of data every month for 7 months. Simply make a small deposit of 99k and pay the balance mpola. You can pay in daily, weekly, or even monthly installments while you enjoy your new phone. So what are you doing today? Visit any MTN shop near you and get the MTN Kabode Super easy. Leaders who care create a good learning environment.
Because a good school equals a better life.
Raising voices.
I remember the lockdown, when the streets were empty and our lives disrupted, when businesses closed and our livelihoods hung in the balance. Hospitals were full. We lost loved ones, jobs, and hope. Our children couldn't study anymore. We cannot let this happen again. We should not go back. Get fully vaccinated against COVID-19 and join the millions of Ugandans who are already vaccinated.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift, buy or give.
Get freaky too! Dial *149*10# to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial *149*10*5#. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial *149*10# to get started. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Forget last season. Forget the oohs and ahs. Forget every moment that stole the show. Because the real show is here on GoTV. It's the new season. It's action-packed and it's going to be non-stop football. With over 1,000 games from more than 7 leagues and cup competitions plus a World Cup. Make sure you get the best seat in the house this new football season. Get a GoCoder with 1 month of GoTV value for only 25,000 Uganda shillings and enjoy non-stop football. GoTV Uganda. Love it.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift, buy or give.
Get freaky too! Dial *149*10# to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial *149*10*5#. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial *149*10# to get started. Airtel, the smartphone network.
It's back! After 2 years away, the Uganda International Trade Fair is back! The Uganda Manufacturers Association excitedly invites you to the 28th Uganda International Trade Fair from October 3rd to October 10th. Visit more than 1,000 manufacturers, traders, distributors, and business people from all sectors at the UMA Showgrounds in Lugogo. We are back to innovation, products, and world-class manufacturing excellence. Entrance fee is 10,000 shillings only. Select manufacturers will offer discounted prices of up to 50%. Enjoy live performances from your favorite artists as we celebrate 60 years of Uganda's independence. To book space, call 0703-552-444.
October Bidel Musaba Gardens Mukono, October Mukaga Millennium Gardens Saziwaya, October Munanaji Montelembara, 10 October, 40 Poto Muchisawe, Abidim Bi October, Bale Sports Center, Umtual Kumo, Yebem Tuale Santo, a meza million more, Wabla Tual Kumia, Abana tickets of Akosa M10 Momo, Bajagusa Sulan Comitano, Bidamina Romo Center, Hiva Motors, Galaxy FM, Radio 4, Kagwina War, TN. Sama Furu Balabo!
Glad to know you're still with us now from the sports desk. Uganda became the first country to win the Africa Cricket Association T20 Africa Cup after defeating neighbors Tanzania by 8 wickets. In what was a cliffhanger final played Thursday night at Wilmore Park in Benoni, South Africa, Uganda came from behind to claim victory in the 11th hour. Uganda posted a total of 175 runs for 2 in 20 overs, whereas Tanzania posted 174 runs for 5 in 20 overs. Players Riyazat Ali Shah and Deus Mohammed played a major role in this win, contributing 96 and 50 runs respectively. The first edition of the T20 Africa Cup attracted 8 associate member countries of the International Cricket Council.
To restrict them to 174, at one stage it looked like we could be chasing over 200. And the batting, I thought Mohammed and Riyazat Ali Shah were just extra special. I thought the way they timed it, the way they played it, and the decisions they made in terms of which boundaries to target. It was one of the most special days. Winning a 5th trophy was just extra special, this one, because it's obviously at my home country. And yeah, very humbled and very proud of the boys and the whole group in terms of how we've played. We did bring a couple of youngsters, we left a couple of seniors back, and a lot of people put up their hands. So I'm very glad where we're going as a country and as a team.
Pumped, obviously, very happy with the win. You know, it's good to come out here and win the tournament. What a game of cricket. It was much tougher than we had thought it would be. I thought Tanzania came out there and put us on the back foot early on. But again, the team showed great character to come out and chase down 175. That partnership between Muumuza and Riyazat that got us over the line, that was brilliant to see. They executed their roles perfectly. They complemented each other very well. And, you know, we're just really happy to give our fans back home some joy. It's been a while since we've had a hand on a trophy, so we're very happy to bring this one back to Uganda.
It always feels amazing when you perform for your team, and it was really amazing final. So our target was go till the end, push the game till the end. Me and Muumuza batted really well with me, and yeah, we knew that if we go till the last over, we can chase any target. We can score 20 or 25 runs in last over.
Ugandans are the champions of the Africa Cup, the inaugural trophy, and their name will be etched on it.
Those are some of the top stories or activities we had for you for this particular hour. Thank you so much for choosing and joining us as we gave you those particular updates. More news will be coming your way later on in the subsequent news hours. My name is Sandra Kahunde, and from the entire team behind the scene, wish you a blessed afternoon, and keep watching UBC as you enjoy your weekend.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
The Uganda Investment Authority, UIA, is holding the Chigezi Investment Summit on Saturday,